In order to achieve true happiness, you have to start focusing on yourself. Hi, everybody. My name is Jake Quazza, and today I want to talk to you a little bit about finding your true self and blocking out all the outside noise, truly becoming your own person. So, what sparked this idea is I had a conversation with one of my best friends the other day, and I asked her, what's the best piece of advice you feel like you've learned or been told throughout your early 20s that you're going to take with you moving forward? And her response was that the best thing she's learned so far is just to focus on yourself, block out the outside noise, and just become your own person. While I was trying to think of video ideas for the past couple of days, this was just something that was really heavy on my mind, and it kind of made me think about my own life in a different way and think to myself, am I truly the person I want myself to be? Or am I just a result of all my friend groups throughout my life and what they've molded me to be? I don't know the exact quote, but there's a famous line that everyone always says about you become what your closest five friends are, or something along those lines. And I always thought it was pretty cheesy growing up because obviously, like when you're a kid and you hear that, you don't really think too much about it. But as I got a little bit older, I've felt that this is actually really true. And I'd say the biggest time where this actually felt like it was true in my life was right after high school. So in high school, just like everybody, I got put in this random friend group. No one really ever created it, it just kind of appeared out of nowhere. One day I wasn't hanging out with any of these people. The next day I was hanging out with them every single weekend. And like I said, we were hanging out every single weekend. We would play video games until super late. We would do all kinds of stupid stuff. And it was really fun in high school. But it got to a point where it wasn't so fun for me anymore. I just realized I felt like I just was ready to grow up a little bit. And I'm sure a lot of people feel that way. But I really felt like my friend group had kind of taken a toll on me. As we all started getting into college, everyone started drinking a lot more, and that was kind of the focus of the friend group. What used to be just fun and games always and just messing around and playing Xbox for hours on end or Mario Kart on the Wii ended up turning into going out on Fridays and Saturdays, and that's the only time we would see each other. It's just personally not the lifestyle that I really wanted to live, and I just felt myself really distancing from a lot of my friends from high school. And that's something that I had to be okay with. I really felt like at one point or another, and I've talked about this in another video, but I felt like I was really becoming my friend group. Like the going out and drinking just became a part of my life because it was everybody's life at that point. And even though I didn't really love it that much, I still just went and did it because that's what everybody was doing. And no hate on you if this is something you enjoy doing with your friends. I do think it can be really fun to go out with your friends, but once you do it so many times, it just gets to a point like, I'm wasting my time out here drinking and partying when I could just be doing anything else in the world. But this behavior continued. I just continued going out with friends. We did it for a couple of years, and then COVID happened. And whether you look back on COVID with negative memories and thoughts or positive memories and thoughts, you probably spent a lot of time alone, just like I did. And during COVID, I really just learned a lot about myself. Now, I've always been somewhat religious, I'd say. I grew up a little bit religious. My grandparents were always religious, but my parents weren't too involved in it and never really pushed it on us at all. But it's something I really did value throughout my entire life, and during COVID, I realized like that's something I gave up about myself. Like the past couple of years, ever since I'd been in high school, that was something I pretty much just stopped working on. I stopped working on my faith. I stopped talking about it. And I just felt like I had a calling to just go and revisit that and bring that back as a priority in my life. And once I started getting back into my Bible, back into my faith, I took a huge step back and looked at myself and I kind of tried to come up with like, what are my favorite things in life that I enjoy? Not because anybody else enjoys them, but because me personally, I enjoy them. And I had a really tough time trying to figure that out, to be honest with you. And while I was kind of reflecting on that, trying to figure out, what are my favorite things in life? What do I enjoy doing that I can just do by myself? I thought about it and I didn't really know how to do anything by myself. All I knew was what I did with my friends, playing video games or going out or staying up super late, hanging out in someone's basement. Just like that was the only behavior I knew at that point in time because I took the lifestyle from high school and just moved it right into college. And I think in a way, this is why COVID was kind of a blessing for me was it was, my time to just sit back and really learn about myself. And like I said, just reevaluate myself and my life in general. I had never really spent time alone. Like I had never really just sat with my own thoughts for the past couple of years, ever since being in high school. I was always surrounded by people. So when people weren't able to be surrounding me anymore, I had to actually just sit there and learn about myself. And this all relates back to the beginning of the video when I told you you need to stop focusing on others and start focusing on yourself. Because it was at that time during COVID where I finally realized I did not know anything about myself. All I knew was who my friends were and the things I did when my friends were around, just to please them basically. And I realized that I was always worried about what my friends would think about me. Would they think I was stingy if I didn't want to go out with them? Would they not like me anymore if I didn't want to go hang out with them? I was genuinely constantly always just battling myself on what my friends thought about me and what people around me thought about me during these times. And it was just so unhealthy. And I'm so glad I was able to come out of that on the other side because I know a lot of people that deal with that. And it's just not fun. It's not a fun experience at all to constantly be focused on what everyone else around you is thinking about you. And some of that probably comes from personal anxiety, but the other side of that is just having kind of some toxic friends in your friend group that just bring out the worst in you and don't bring out the best in you. That constant state of wondering what everyone thought about me or what I was doing was wrong, thinking about that constantly just made me realize I really needed to focus on myself. And that's part of the reason why I'm making this video. I really want you guys to understand that it's okay to focus on yourself and it's not necessarily a selfish thing. And I think there's a big difference between focusing on yourself and selfishness. And it's something that it's really hard to cross that barrier sometimes or to kind of just stay in the line between the two. Again, being focused on yourself has a completely different meaning than being selfish. Being selfish is more so just only thinking about your own thoughts, not putting anyone else into regards of your actions, the consequences that may come from them, how you treat people, anything like that. Focusing on yourself is wanting to be the best version of yourself so that way when it comes to other people, you can actually react and act with them in a more positive manner. You can actually make people's days better as a result of becoming better yourself. And I'm not gonna lie to you guys either. Focusing on yourself can feel a bit selfish at times, especially in my situation. I lost a lot of friends because I just wasn't going out with them as much anymore, and I wasn't trying to do the same things that they always wanted to do. And it does suck at first. You lose some people in your life that you hung out with for a long time, but those weren't the things I wanted to do anymore, and I didn't want to hang out with people that did those things anymore. So what happened was they just got cut out of my life. And it was pretty natural, to be honest with you. It's not like I told them I don't like them anymore or vice versa. But over time, we just stopped talking less and less. And as a result, I'm way more happier with my life. I feel healthier. I'm in the gym. I have more mental clarity than I ever have before. And a main reason is because I'm not so focused on what other people are thinking about me. I genuinely feel just an overwhelming sense of clarity. And I feel like I've created my own self image that I wanted to put out into the world rather than being just a conglomerate of what everyone around me was creating me to be in a way. And this has helped me in many different facets of my life. And one of them is right here on YouTube. I feel like since I've spent more time by myself and learned to understand myself a little bit, I'm able to kind of just make content that I genuinely feel like could be helpful to somebody. And in the Call of Duty commentary community especially, I feel like there's a lot of different creators that do feel like they spend a lot of time alone or do feel lonely in one way or another. And to all of you out there that may feel that way right now, I would say this is the time to hone in and really just lock in and focus on yourself. You owe it to yourself to try to become the best version of yourself that you can be. Life should be all about growing and getting better and doing more, not doing less, getting worse, feeling worse about yourself. It should always be about improvement in your life as much as possible. And from my personal experience, focusing on yourself makes you a better family man, gets you better friendships, better relationships, helps you in your daily work life, your daily life in general, and just overall in general, it's really improved my life. And it's also helped me just look at myself in a different way. And my relationships with my friends that I have nowadays is much different than the relationships with my old friends. It's a much more positive relationship, and I genuinely really value that. So I know I just talked so much about focusing on yourself. I've probably said the word focused about 40 times, but I genuinely think if you do these things in your own life, you will just see nothing but improvement. And again, I just want to shout out one of my best friends for just the advice that she gave me the other day. And it just really sparked so much creativity and kind of some honesty with myself in general and learning a lot more about myself. So thank you again to her. And thank you guys for watching. I really appreciate it. I would love to hear your perspective on focusing on yourself and kind of ways that you've had to navigate through that in your own life. And yeah, I just thank you guys for all the support lately. I'm almost at 60 subscribers. So I'm really just enjoying the YouTube in general. And I'll see you guys in another video soon.